Hello, hello, good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Vanessa, Montrese, KB. How are you guys doing this morning?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Awesome.
All right, let me pull up. Let's see here. There we go. All right, I'm getting a comment. Awesome. So KB just commented, doing great. All right, so guys, today's session, we're going to have just 30 minutes today. I apologize. I do have a commitment that came up at the last minute that I need to attend to. So I wanted today's session to be a little bit of teaching and a little bit of an ask anything, depending on where you are in your journey to short-term rental investing. I haven't met a couple of you, so I wanted to go ahead and open up and let's see, make sure that you're all allowed to speak. Okay, awesome. Everyone set up to speak. Montrese, would you mind introducing yourself, letting us know where you're located this morning and a little bit about your investment journey? If you have one property or 10 properties or no properties and looking forward to getting started, we would really appreciate it.
This is my first meeting
Yay.
in Atlanta, Georgia. Ellenwood is to be exact.
Nice.
In real estate for about 20 years, but real estate and construction. I just recently got into mobile homes last year, so I have like about 7 mobile homes.
Nice.
So I do a lot of rehabs and wholesaling mobile homes.
Okay.
Also, I have a company that buys notes.
Okay.
And so I want to really get into this short rental thing, but I want to get into short rentals. I know it's very well, it's hot right now, so I know that. And so I just want to get into it. I think it's a good passive income right now, and so I just want to learn more about it.
Awesome. Awesome. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for letting us know where you're at. Mobile homes are hot too.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, they are.
So that's fantastic. And so there's such a synergy. I'll tell you right now that we are finding a lot of the rural areas, not just necessarily the big cities, are very short-term rental friendly in terms of profitability. So for instance, you would think, the high rises, the big cities, that's where you're going to gain the largest profitability, but we're finding the rural areas, according to the data that was released earlier this year. Airbnb released data showing that the units that made the most revenue were actually those that were a little bit off the beaten path. Of course, larger homes, but those that are off the beaten path, because there's a trend towards going back to nature. And that's the term that's coined there is eco-agricultural travel, where people want to become one with nature again. They want to be a little bit by themselves. They want to, just explore and have a little bit more of that adventurous vacation. And so I think mobile homes are definitely poised for that potentially as well, because you're not going to find them in the big cities. You'll find them a little bit where there's some land and things like that. So
I did leave one thing off. I should have said from start. Right now, I'm in the process of building an RV park in North Carolina.
Wonderful.
Me and 3 other of my colleagues.
That's fantastic.
And it's on the beach.
Which beach, Montrese?
I forgot the name. I'm so sorry.
Which city? Which state?
North Carolina.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's luck we got that property. Yep, we're gonna turn it to an RV park.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Thank you.
that is awesome. Yeah, would love to talk to you more about that because that is definitely something that is going to be in high demand,
Yes,
you
ma'am.
know? Yeah. So you're really niching down, and I think that's going to make a huge difference.
Thank you.
All right. So welcome, Martrice. KB, I don't know if you can speak, but if you can, go ahead and unmute your mic and introduce yourself to the group. We haven't, I don't think we've met before, KB.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kay. Yeah, this is actually my first time on as well. So I'm originally from Trinidad. I lived in New York for a few years and then I moved here to Georgia. In terms of real estate, I've been in real estate since 2010. So when I originally started, I started off with investing with me and my partner, joined the REI, etc. And then eventually I branched off and got my license. So I'm also licensed as well in the state of Georgia. I currently reside in Hiram, that's Paulding County. So in terms of the short-term rental, it's something that really interests me because I do have a few, rental properties. We did a few buy and hold and fix and flips, but the long-term rental thing, and it's like what Marquis said is that, the short-term rentals in terms of the revenue is just more profitable than renting your place for an entire year. The thing for me, the reason why I want to learn more is that people post on social media the glitz and the glam and how you could make all this money, etc. But they don't go into details of the logistics and the rules and the regulations and the things that could get you in trouble and the problems with the actual tenants and so those are the things that I really want to learn. And also, like you mentioned, there's this trend with people trying to go back to nature, and that's definitely me because I grew up in the Caribbean, I grew up in the country, and every time I drive, I'm like, I just don't like being around a lot of
everyone,
people.
my name is Dave.
So I prefer to be out in the country in acreage. That's just me, so that's just a little bit about me.
Well, Kay, welcome, and appreciate you being here. And I'm sorry about that noise in the background,
That's
but
okay.
yes, absolutely. And I'm from the Caribbean too, so I totally get it. Your desire to go back to nature, organic, things that are natural and healthier. So I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Which country are you from?
I'm from Haiti.
Oh, you're from Haiti. I was just actually watching some YouTube videos with this guy. He went out to Haiti to show people the real beauty of Haiti and not what the media shows, Yeah, and I have a few Haitian friends as well. I'm from Trinidad. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we have our veterans here as well. I'm so excited. Debbie's here, Vanessa's here, Deborah's here. So super stoked about you guys being here. So let me introduce myself a little bit if we haven't yet met. My name is Rachel. I am a short-term rental operator in the luxury space. We furnish homes that we both own. We operate for others via the arbitrage method, as well as co-hosting for others who have a home, investors who have a home. However, they don't want to manage the day-to-day, but they furnish and they're responsible for it. So we use three methods of hosting. Recent claim to fame was that one of our luxury short-term rentals was featured on a Netflix TV show that's going to be airing in 2022. And but what I am most passionate about, and that's why I'm going to have to jump off in a little bit. And I told everyone, warning, I have to jump off at 9:30, is that I'm a healthcare professional by day and a real estate investor by night. So I have something happening at the hospital that's urgent that I have to attend to at 9:30. So I apologize for that. But I definitely want to stay connected and wanted to do a little bit more of a Ask Me Anything today. But what I want to let you know is that my passion is to help busy professionals who are looking to get started in short-term rentals, specifically luxury short-term rentals, because my approach is how do I own and operate the fewest number of properties that generates the highest profitability. So this is going to be a little bit different than what you see in our REIA here at REI USA. And I do have door envy when I see the others who are in multifamily spaces who have 100 doors, 300 doors. I looked at all of those methods, okay? But as a mom, a woman with a whole husband, a full-time job and healthcare, and all of the things, I determined that, you know what, how do I make the best bang for my buck? You know, and I looked at all of the different types of investing, syndications, fix and flipping, all of the approaches. But for me, short-term rentals has given me the highest profitability, the highest gross revenue, the best tax benefits, where I can use bonus depreciation and cost segs and really offset my medical income. And so that's why I am so passionate about this space. But you're right, it is not all glitz, it is not all glam, because in fact, you know, this is not a landlord tenant business. This is a hospitality business. So if that is not your personality, you may need to partner with someone to help you to get the properties going. You know, from that perspective, it does require a team. I operate both locally as well as out of state. So the three key members on my team from that operational perspective are my virtual assistants, my cleaners, my maintenance men or maintenance women, handy people. Those are parts of our team, okay? But we do outsource other things as it comes. So if we need to add in other skilled laborers, we add in other skilled laborers as needed for something big like an electrical or plumbing. That's when you need someone who's going to be more skilled than your day-to-day handy person. And our cleaners and our handy people, they actually double as our errand runners as well, which is really important if you're missing a blow dryer, if you're missing a, you know, toilet paper, not enough toilet paper, or if there are some towels, you know, that are lacking at a unit or some extra linens, you know. So our cleaning team and our maintenance team, they kind of help with that as well. But all of that is spelled out in the beginning. So there are more moving pieces, but you know, every month, you know, you add in more and more, and you layer it on. Every quarter, you update a few things here or there, but you will get there. And again, the numbers are not false. We are finding that we generate anywhere from 3 to 15x the revenue that we would from a long-term rental perspective. Case in point, the property that I mentioned a little bit earlier that was featured on Netflix was a house that we purchased it. It was a long-term rental. That tenant was paying $1,800 a month in rents to the previous homeowner. We decked it out. We did have to do some updating from a renovation perspective. I want to say about $30,000 worth because we wanted to finish up the basement. And that property generates anywhere from $15,000 to $28,000 a month, which is incredible. And so that is the property that was featured on Netflix. So definitely the profitability is there, but you would need to you know, do DIY it in the beginning, but eventually start building your system so that you can work more on your business and not in your business. So that's a little bit about me, guys. I wanted to open up the mic and let the veterans or anyone who has a question. I want it to be more like an Ask Me Anything today. And if there's something that you want me to do a little teaching on, I am more than happy to do so. So Debbie, Deborah, Vanessa, did you guys have anything? What's going on in your world today? And Angelia just joined. Debbie, anything?
Well, hey there. How are you doing, Rachel?
Hi, Debbie. I'm well, thank you.
I guess the thing I'm working on today and this week is getting my listing put out there on more sites because we're having trouble getting guests in there right now. We started out strong and now we have nobody. So, and this is our arbitrage in Lawrenceville. Our cabin in the Blue Ridge is doing awesome. I think we have like 10,000 in bookings in the month of October and
Nice.
getting more in November. So we're doing well there. So I'm getting on to corporate housing by owner. So trying to figure that out. And I don't know. So just working on that. Oh, I know. I got a photographer coming too. I'm going to get better pictures.
Okay, that's great. What about your ranking? Do you know which page you're ranking on right now?
I've been on page 1. I did join Rank Breeze, and it seems like it's been on page 1 forever, but and we've got awesome reviews. We've got about, I don't know, 6 reviews from people that have come. So I'm not sure what's going on.
What's your minimum stay?
I dropped it down to about 185, I think. It was like a little bit over 200 for a 3-bedroom house.
What's your length of stay? Minimum
2
length?
nights.
Okay. Can we try that strategy that we did a little bit earlier for the Blue Ridge, where you increase the pricing, then give like a 20% discount to see if that gives it a little bit more visibility? I know you're on page 1, but I would love to see like a special offer, bubble from Airbnb.
Yes, and I did do that, and I think it did well. And then I stopped it because I added Verbo to my listing, or I listed it on Verbo, and I use owner res, so it was a little bit, I had to get everything straight first, and now maybe I could do a discount. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, we don't like discounting, but if we can pull the levers, that would give it a little bit of that, party bubble that you get, and it'll say rare find. And once it puts it in the rare find category, sometimes that gives it a little bit of visibility. So I've done that before, and that's helped a lot. So.
Yep, I'm going to try it all. I will definitely do that. Thanks.
Awesome. You're welcome. Thanks, Debbie. You always bring in some great questions. KB just raised your hand. Kay, go for it.
Okay, so I'm new, so I know it has the veterans on here, so forgive me. I have a question. So my question is, what's the young lady that just came on? What's her name?
Debbie.
Okay, so Debbie mentioned right now she probably have several other things going on, but she just mentioned 2. She said one of her properties doing pretty well and one really isn't, right? So my question is, because she said the Blue Ridge property is doing well, that's up in the mountains, and then the other one, I didn't catch the location, that's not doing that well. So my question is, in the short-term rental space, how do you determine, or how do you do the research in determining like the areas where to pursue properties that will really do well in this market? Because we were talking previously about, people want to go back to Natia and, and Blue Ridge, from where I am, it seems far away. And you would think, why would people go all the way up there? So it's like, is there attractions around the cabin? Is it close to restaurants, like a couple of miles away from restaurant, that even though people go up there, there's actually things for them to do? I guess that's kind of my question. How do you determine, in terms of the location, that your Airbnb will do well there if you invest the money in acquiring that property?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. And so for Angeli, I let the people know that I have to jump off at 9:30 for a meeting at the hospital. I'm a healthcare professional during the day. And so I just wanted to give you a heads up of that. But that is a great question, Kate, and that is a loaded question. So let me break it down for you into 2 segments. Okay. when we're thinking about short-term rentals, there are two different broad markets, okay? There's the vacation rental market, and then there is the business travel market, or just pretty much non-vacation rental. Vacation rental and then non-vacation rental. An area like Blue Ridge, the Smokies of Tennessee, Yellowstone Park, that is easy peasy to tell. These are markets, for instance, that have been receiving travelers for short-term rentals for hundreds and hundreds of years. There is no question, no doubt that those, what do you call them, cabin areas, beachfront areas, those areas have so much travel data associated with it that there's no doubt about it that it's going to definitely have visitors, lots of visitors for vacations. For instance, Yellowstone National Park last year, and they have a way of clocking and ticking how many visitors entered into the park. Well, all those visitors needed lodging, a place to stay. So that's how the algorithm calculates that. Yellowstone saw 1.2 million visitors last year. The Smokies of Tennessee, okay, saw 20 million visitors last year. Visitors, all of which require housing. And they're saying that this, I don't know the Blue Ridge numbers off the top of my head, but the Blue Ridge is definitely a hot market for vacation rentals as well. And those numbers are quite high as well. Okay, not as high as the Smokies, but we see that a lot of people in the Smokies are trickling into the Blue Ridge area. That is becoming a hotspot. These are called tried and true vacation rental markets. They have been having short-term rentals for years and years and years. So there's no doubt that those places are going to do well. The Poconos of Pennsylvania, Vail, Colorado. So you have ski lodges, ski areas, lake areas, beach areas. Those hands down are going to do well in terms of seeing visitors, in terms of gaining revenue from visitors. There will be visitors. Now, ROI, that's a whole different conversation, right? We can do the math on that. Number two, let's talk about the non-vacation rental markets or the business markets. So those are markets like in my area in Georgia, Pinewood Studios is nearby in Fayette County, right? There's a specific industry. In Ohio, I think I forget which city in Ohio, Facebook had a big hold of interns there. That's another industry. So when you have a very aerospace industry specific areas, you're going to see business travelers. Military bases, you're going to see travelers, okay? So industry, if it's 30 minutes away from an industry that is a booming industry, you're gonna have travelers. If it's 30 minutes away from an airport, university, hospital, or hotel, in addition, any one of those, either or, any one, you're going to see travelers. But if it's 30 minutes away from more than any of those, just not just one, but more than one of those, you're going to see travelers. And so that area is a potential to have travelers. Okay, so there's no one area that really is a bad area as long as you're 30 minutes away from any of those. I'll call them districts or sectors or segments. 30 minutes within any of those, you should be fine to have a short-term rental, okay? However, the one caveat is regulations. What stops me before I do any of the numbers, any of the calculations, is regulations, okay? Regulations come before numbers. And I use a number of tools, and I know I have to jump on another call, but I wanna show you one of the tools that I've been using a lot lately. Share screen. Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So this is a tool that I've been using a lot lately, data.rabu.com. Okay. Data.rabu.com. And I've spoken with the CEO, Amir. He's really, really nice guy. Let me put in an address, for instance. Let me see. I'll try this one, for instance, okay? And let's say this is a 3-bedroom. All right, so here are the numbers. A 3-bedroom in this location makes an average as a short-term rental of $2,400 per month. That's average. If it is a top performer, it's making an average of $3,045 per month. Okay, and so I use that just to have an idea. I go to the seasonality as well to get an idea of what a 3-bedroom can make. If I'm looking to purchase, I say, okay, what if I want to buy a 4-bedroom? Will that make any difference? Okay, and you can see here some of the difference. Well, what if I were to buy a 5-bedroom? Will that make any difference? And so that's a little bit of where I start to look at my ROI numbers. It's still circling the dream, but it kind of gives you an idea of what the property will make. You see 5-bedroom, and then it's lower for some reason. So without diving deep into it, that's one way that I look to see what a property would make. But for me, more importantly, I want to see occupancy. So for example, I would Google AirDNA Rentalizer. Once you Google that, you can add an address. So let me see. Okay, so you can sign up for the free account. I would just do the free account. I would just do the free account. And so for Miami, this is where my parents live. I just put that in. The occupancy rate is what I'm looking at, 71% occupancy rate. That tells me there are visitors. That's your first question. And how do you know it's going to make a good rental? Well, first you want to know, are there going to be visitors? If it's anywhere above 50%, then yes, there are visitors. 50% is my number. If it's down, I had a client ask me about visitors and about one of the cities here in Georgia, it was down to 30%, Kay. 30%, I said, no way, don't invest in that area. Okay, so if you go to AirDNA Rentalizer and Google that, you're looking to see that the occupancy rate is 50% or above, because at 50% or above, there are going to be visitors. Okay.
Okay.
All right, and I'm so sorry, I've got to jump, but I did want to invite you guys, if you haven't been to the Facebook group yet, I do have a Facebook group where we're going to be talking about investing in Puerto Rico tomorrow night. And so if you want, here is the name of the group right here. I'll leave it on the screen for a minute or two. And let's see here. We have lives every week, but if you go into the events, you'll see where I'm talking to a short-term rental investor in Puerto Rico. She invests, she's a real estate agent as well. She manages a boutique hotel there as a property manager. So short-term rental investing in Puerto Rico, feel free to join the group so that we can stay in touch. And that way you can have your questions answered, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for joining. I so appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Rachel.
You're welcome.